What's going on, guys, and welcome to your JavaScript tutorial. In this video we're going to talk about math expressions, and whenever we have the number, let's say I create over here a number in JavaScript, I can obviously perform all kinds of math expressions, and JavaScript is going to do that for me. So let's say I can write 4 plus 4, which is the example I already gave you, and we can refresh and we have a, and then we obviously can have, let's say I could divide 4 by 4, save it over here, and it would be 1. And then another familiar expression you could have would be a multiplication, and save this, and we have 16. And the last one probably is going to be negative, subtracting, and that's going to be 0. Now, those are all the things that you already knew about. I'm just showing you that it's actually how easy it is to do those things in JavaScript. And we also could have, of course, written using the actual variables. So we could have named our variable, let's say 10 over here. And then we could have said, well, I'm going to create another variable, and I'm going to name it popular number. And I'm going to say that that is going to be num plus 200. So I write here over here popular number, and we'll see whether we have 210. So let's save this, and we run over here, and of course I have 210. And another thing is that we could obviously do all these things over here, let's say in document write that we have. So we could have written over here directly 4 by 4 or 4 plus 7. Let's say what happens. See, we have 11. So we can perform all these things also right away here in document write. However, just remember to use not to use a quotation marks, because then JavaScript knows that, hey, this is a number, and if I'm performing a math operation on it, it has to make sense. Now, these were very basic operators over here. You can see the addition, division, multiplication, and subtraction. However, in JavaScript, there's something called modulus operator, and it looks basically like this, that you have, like, let's say I would have 10, and I would write over here this percentage over here. And in this case, I'm going to write 5, right? And it works in a way like a division. However, what it does, as it divides these two numbers, actually the result would be what is left over. So you can imagine that if you divide 10 by 5, there's nothing left over. There's no leftover. So I'm going to write over here num, and we can see that it should be 0, and it is 0. But let's say now that you would have something like 15, and you would divide by 4. Now here's the deal. So you would have it like what? The closest divider probably would be 12, right? So the leftover should be 3. So let's save this, and you have 3 over here. And why they're good for? Because when you're going to be working with some cases where you want to check whether the number is odd or even, you can actually do this. Because you can imagine that with even numbers, if they're divided by the even numbers, you're going to have the same thing. The modulus is always going to be 0. And it's going to be the same thing for the odd numbers. So let's say 9 by 3 would be also 0, right? So you see over here I have 0. However, if you're dividing by odd number, let's say by even or even by odd, the result is actually going to be something else than 0. So in that way, you can actually check your numbers whether they're odd or 0.